Hi guys, it's Carrie from Stretch Sheet. One of these days, I'm going to remember to turn the microphone on. I have a little sign that says turn on the microphone so that I don't end up with a lot. At least I figured it out this time and not like 20 minutes into class. So, yay. I hope you guys are doing well. It's so good to see you guys. I know a couple people are on today, but go ahead and write in the chat who's here if you want to say hi. You don't have to, but if you want to participate in class, use the chat as your option. You can always chime in during the session, and it's on now. I got it, Crystal. So now you can always chime in during the session so that to say like, hey, I need to work on this one thing, or I need to work on something different, or that sort of thing. So feel free to interact in the chat during class. All right. Now I already pulled cards today because for the sake of time, there's no reason for me to shuffle. So today's a low lunge kind of hip flexor day. So we're going to work on that. Now, typically when we do the hip flexor lunge, we don't go deep into this pose. So this will be kind of fun to explore. It's going to take a little bit more hip flexibility, getting a little deeper into our psoas stretch if you want to. Okay. I also found these cards, adventure. So we'll look into how we can find an adventure in our stretches. This one, the creator, I think this is really interesting. It's the King of Fire, the King of Wands. And it's a lot about recognizing the potential inside of yourself and understanding that you could be just in your own way. Like I read in the book, this is the Osho Zen, and the book comes with the cards, and it said you're carrying a masterpiece hidden within you, but you're standing in the way, so just move aside, and then the masterpiece will be revealed. And that's so much what happens in Ki-Hara. Our bodies get in the way of all the greatness that we could do in our lives. And then when you remove those barriers, especially in your physical body first, then the other stuff just opens up. And all of a sudden you feel like you have way more potential than you expected, right? You even knew you had. I mean, pain can hold us back so much. And the last card we have is healing. So this is a really lovely card, and we can just focus on the healing aspects of our stretches, which I think is so beautiful. All right, if any of you guys have anything specific you want to work on, please let me know. I think I've figured out all the internet glitches, so hopefully the quality is a lot better. And if you guys do see a difference in the quality, for those of you who watch, let me know, because it's important to me. I also just ordered a new microphone, so the sound in the next couple of days will hopefully be a lot better for you guys too. So, just keep me informed on how things are going, because I want you guys to have the best experience possible for class, of course. Okay, here we go. Suri's in the hallway. Hi, Bubba. She, I'm sure, will help us out. She's been sleeping through 11 a.m. class, so if you find Suri adorable, then 9 a.m. class is for you. If you find Suri annoying, or you're get that cat out of there, Carrie, then come to 11 o'clock class. 11 o'clock is Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday is our 9 a.m. class, and it's all full of cat, because this is her hour. Yeah, I know. You're chiming in. All right, everyone say hi to Suri. She just needs a little love. And then we're going to try our low lunge just to see how life works today, right? Just to see what you have going on in your world and your hips, and how this stretch feels to you. So go ahead into a lunge with your right leg in the front, your left leg behind. And what are you doing? She's just taking her claw and scratching my foot. So we're going to go ahead into a lunge, and what you'll do is from this position just kind of drop and see where your body says that's enough. And you can start to feel where you have some barriers. I feel a little stretch here, but I definitely feel a little pinch in the front of my hip here. So you want to kind of notice, where is your body giving you a barrier? It's definitely my hip here on the front. And then you can even bring your arms up and see if there's any barrier there. What do you feel here? I feel my belly wants to really push out. My arms feel generally okay, but you may notice that you feel a little pinch in the top here. You might feel like your arms are pretty wide, or one's different than the other. Can they come up equally? What would it feel like to bring your hands together? If you put your hands together like prayer pose, what would that feel like? How do your feet feel in this position? Do you feel stable? Do you feel like you're going to fall over? Like, what does that feel like for you? And so you can just kind of take notes. You don't even have to physically write them down. Just take like a mental note of how you feel, and then let's see how we can improve it, okay? So let's go into a low lunge now on the other side. Find your position here, and then drop down into that low lunge. Here I feel more stretch on my right side, a little pinch here in the front. My knee kind of hurts on this side on the ground, like it's not quite sitting on the ground in the right way. And then as I bring my arms up, I do notice some tightness in my low back, like up here. So I'm going to address that for myself. What do you feel? What happens if you bring your hands together? Do you notice anything different? I do feel like I want to do this stretch for my quad on the right side. So the other side, I didn't feel that, like that feeling of relief or that feeling like I wanted to stay or explore that stretch. So it's interesting to get into that position and then, you know, which side feels like, oh, that's so good. And the other side kind of felt just like stuck, or I felt that hip impingement. So you want to kind of feel around, see what feels good to you, and then we'll explore it through class, okay? Now, for those of you who are new, who maybe have never done Ki-Hara before, this might not be the right video for you, but you can stick around if you want. Just follow these rules. Move all the time, resist all the time, and if anything hurts, skip that stretch today, and you can try it again another day. Just skip it completely, or move in a really small range of motion where you feel really safe. This class, it's an hour-long video. We're going to do a whole bunch of stretches. So if you find yourself feeling a little lost, or you're like, I just don't understand what's going on, I have a lot of other videos on my Stretch Sheet page on YouTube, and you can just search through some of like the stretch by stretch videos or some of the problem solving videos. There's also a whole series called Stretching for the Inflexible. It's 4 videos, and each one kind of walks you through each step in a really easy way. So if this seems too hard for you, just try out those stretches instead, okay? All right, friends, let's go into some stretches for our physical muscles. Now, I've learned a lot about the body over the course of time, and this technically is a part of like the Ki-Hara thing, but different muscles kind of get categorized into different worlds. Like certain muscles take on more physical, help you get more into your physical body. Other muscles help you get into your like mental space. Other stretches get you into your emotional space, and other stretches tend to be more spiritual. So I like to split those up into 4 worlds, and I really like the way I feel after I do them in this specific order. So I've been doing this a lot lately, if you haven't noticed, if you've been coming to class this week. So this first set of stretches really helps us to get into our bodies. So what I want you to do during this segment of stretches is just to pay attention to how your muscles feel. See if you can really feel the life in your body. See if you can feel your blood flow, your chi moving, get yourself warmed up. That's what these first stretches are for, okay? So let's start off with a stretch for the back of your shoulders and your neck. You can bring your right arm across and grab your wrist with your left hand and resist between both arms like you're trying to pull your arms apart, and then push up for strength and pull down for your stretch. When you get to the bottom, bring your head over to the left and a little forward, and maybe look up to the right. See if you can find some stretch in the top of your trapezius here, in the back of your neck and your shoulder. You might feel it in the back of your arm too. And you just go up and down, always moving, always resisting, and just explore this stretch, right? If any of you guys are joining late, feel free to fast forward to the next stretches so that you can contribute in the chat. You can ask questions as we go. Or those of you who are watching live, feel free to say hi, tell me what you're feeling, tell me if there's any stretches you need a variation on, or something doesn't feel good. And Crystal, I do want to know about that spot in your shoulder. So let me know how that's feeling today, if it's any better. So up for strength and down for stretch. And as you come down to the bottom, just bring your head to the side, maybe a little forward, look up to the left. To the right. I'm mirroring, it's a little different. And just let yourself feel the muscle, get into your body, put your awareness into your body. If you guys are fans of Eckhart Tolle, he talks a lot about that being kind of the first stage of present moment awareness, is to just put your awareness into your physical body, to feel the life in your fingertips, you know? He says you can do this meditation where you close your eyes and you just ask yourself, like, how do I know that there's a hand there? Like, how do you know? How do you know it's there? Well, you just kind of know. But you can feel it in space, right? You can feel the energy in your hand. So you can even try this if you want. Close your eyes and see if you can feel all your fingers. Can you feel your thumb? Can you feel your pointer finger? Can you feel your third finger, your fourth, and your fifth? Can you feel all those fingers? And the aliveness in those fingers, can you feel the blood going through your capillaries there, getting warmed up? Really helps you to get in touch with your body. Right away, puts you right in the present moment, immediately. And the same thing, when you get to the top of the stretch, can you feel this stretch in your neck? So go down to the bottom here. I say the top of the stretch, I mean when the stretch is finished. So you go into the stretch, you're deep into your stretch here. Hold it, resist, bring your head to the right, close your eyes, and see if you can feel the stretch. Can you actually put your awareness into the feeling of stretch from the top of your skull here? It's not the top of the base of your skull actually, down to your shoulder. Maybe from your shoulder into your arm or down further into your back. Can you feel it? Can you put yourself into your body today? How's your breakfast, Suri? Do you have the shrimp breakfast? You guys, we're under lockdown, so me and Suri have become pretty good friends. And she gets 3 types of food. One is whitefish and tuna fish. Another one is salmon. Don't clean your butt on camera. And the other is shrimp. And I put out the cans for her, and she picks which one she wants every day. I mean, she's so spoiled. She'll like go to the certain can. She'll be like, oh, that one. I want that one. Yeah, you do. I know. Okay, for the next set of stretches we're going to do, we're going to come up to the wall. So you'll want to have like an open wall space. A doorway would be helpful too, or a corner somewhere, but find some wall space. We're going to start off with a push-up. So you're going to bring your arms really wide, your elbows wide, and come up to the wall. And then let your body be a little bit away from the wall so that if you let go, you'd like fall back down. You want to have that feeling of like falling into the wall. From here, very slowly drop your head towards the wall, bend at your elbows. You'll feel a stretch through the front of your chest. And then push back out. So open up for stretch here. I'm coming towards the wall. My chest is opening. And then you use your arms to push you back up. Now this one really opens up your chest around your lungs. So what you might want to do is when you get deep into the stretch, if you want to take this a little further, hold it and then take a really deep breath, open up your rib cage. Okay, so blow out first. So everything's empty. Drop into the wall. And as you do that, take a deep breath. And then push back out. You just go back and forth into the wall, and if you feel like you want to grab that extra rib stretch, open up your rib cage and then come back out. So when I say open your rib cage, what I mean is when you take a deep breath, if you put your hands on your ribs here, and you take a deep breath, you feel your ribs expand, so they go like this, right? When you're in this stretch deep here, you've got these muscles really tight against your rib cage, and as you push open, you're able to stretch the muscles in a different way. So stretch out your intercostals, those muscles between your ribs. But also to change the way this stretch works from how your sternum is opening, the ribs are opening, and your pecs, since they're connected to your sternum, are affected. Okay, it's kind of cool, I think. We're going to do one more just because, mainly because I need it. This stretch is incredibly helpful if you are recovering from COVID, right? And I don't know how many people out there have gotten it. I know a lot of us have just been quarantined. I think we've been pretty lucky here in Chicago that not a lot of people have had this. But if you do notice that you've had coughing fits or that your lungs are starting to bother you, this actually will help to open that up in your recovery process. I don't know that it'll help actually if you're sick. I think maybe, if you're sick, sleep, right? But if you're recovering, We're gonna have to, I think there's gonna be a lot of recovery here in the chest and the ribs after people have had this virus. So now, with your arms against the wall here, and again, with that same feeling of like you would fall against the wall, your arms are actually holding you up, try to push your hands down through the floor, so you're trying to pull them down this way towards the wall, or towards your legs, down the wall, towards your legs, but the wall stops you. And then just bend at your hips, and let your head come through. And again, if you want to add the ribs at the end here, you can. And then come right back up. So you know we say you're always moving, always resisting. So basically when you get to the bottom, you're holding your stretch, so you stop the movement from where you think it's supposed to be, and you change the movement just to your breathing. And you feel just a little bit of a difference in the stretch when you do that. It's minor, it's subtle, but that's okay. See if you can get into your body in that way. Feel your ribs expand, get some good oxygen in there, and see if you can intensify the stretch a little bit. It's kind of like stretching from the inside out, you know? Good work, guys. Now the next stretch you're gonna do is for the front of your shoulders. And with this one, you're actually gonna use a doorway or a corner of your wall. So, you know, welcome to the rest of my apartment. I actually put this up because there are other windows back here, and the lighting is so screwy. So working on it. This is all new to me. What you're gonna do is put your hand on the other side of the door jamb. Push with your finger, your index finger into the wall, but keep your arm really straight. So reach up super high, keep your arm straight, put your hand against the wall. And if you push with your hand into the wall, like you're trying to reach your opposite leg, like you're trying to pull down diagonally, then the wall stops you, then it's gonna turn your body this way. So I'm actually using this muscle in the front of my shoulder to turn me, and then I use my lower body to open me up. So it's like I'm trying to reach from my hand here, and if I bring my other arm down, like I'm disco dancing, I want to feel that stretch all the way from the top here down to the other side. Strength training looks like this. So I'm going to turn in. I let my body follow, so I'm not really twisting from my hips, right? It's just a twist from the shoulder, it's a turn from the shoulder, and then I'm going to reach. Now in this stretch, you should feel it here. If you don't feel that, then you could have a bend in your elbow, so straighten your arm out all the way. You might have an unstable shoulder, right? And if that's the case, stay in the place where it's stable. So maybe just move a little bit. Okay, that's okay. And you'll start to feel it really kind of burn in the front. Sometimes you just go too far in this stretch, right? That's intense. Just a little movement is a big deal. You don't always have to go into like this extreme range of motion, right? You do what feels effective, right? So the next stretch we're gonna do is for the other side. So grab the other side of the door frame, or switch sides, whatever it takes. Take your index finger and put it against the door here on the other side, and then you're gonna twist. And as you twist, your whole body will look towards your bicep. You kind of like touch your bicep with your nose, and then use your lower body to pull away. You're trying to pull all the way down towards your right hand. And then you twist back and back again. Now again, if you feel unstable, find a place where you feel stable. We always want to reinforce the stability. Do not reinforce instability, right? The more you do stretches over and over again, if you find yourself going into a place where you don't feel stable and thinking that that's going to help you, you're wrong. I hate to tell you, but you're wrong. So make sure that you're going back and forth in small ranges of motion, okay? Find the stretch in the front of your shoulder here. And see if you can just really feel the aliveness in your body. This one is really a tingly finger kind of stretch. So you should really feel that. It's the benefit of being tall. You should really feel that muscle. Ah, oh my gosh, there's a crow in my window. Crows are actually, I think, they're good omens. So yay! I was just reading Crystal's message about her shoulder, but now we have sciatic pain. Okay, we'll work on that today. We can definitely work on that today. But I'm so glad your shoulder feels better. That's awesome news. So yay! So you should feel really connected to your body right now. Like you should feel the aliveness in your hands. Feel your body starting to warm up. Your heart rate should be a little increased. Like just really notice that you are a physical body right now. Okay. Now the next stretches we're going to go into are our mental stretches. So these stretches are more about like the energy of your mind, and some of the things that we'll work on are about adventure and how like we can go on a choose your own adventure of your mind, right? So this can be kind of fun. Let's go into our stretch for our glutes first. And I think, since there's a little sciatica, let's start on the side here, since I know that's an issue today. If anyone else has an issue, put it in the chat because I want to know. Bring your hips forward in the front, your knees also forward. Your feet will come in front of, like off the mat in front of you. And put your hand on top of your knee, and then push down with your hand while you push up with your arms. So push down with your hand while you push up with your leg. That's what I meant to say. Then use your hand to push you back down. And just listen to what your body's saying to you here. Push up with your leg while your arm pushes you down. And you should start to feel a stretch or a burn in your glute on the top here. Now sometimes people say stretching is like one of those, those books where you get to the end of the chapter and it's like, if you want the story to go this way, turn to page 46. And if you want the story to go a different way, turn to page 54. And then you end up on a new adventure. And then when you get to the end of that chapter, it says, now if you want to go to a new part, you pick this thing. And if you want to go to another one, you pick this thing. That's, you know what books I'm talking about. Apparently they're copyrighted. Someone told me about that. So I can't actually say the name of the books because it's a copyright thing. I think that's really funny. But basically, hi, Bubba. The adventure is your choice, right? When you get to the end of the stretch, you say, okay, do I want to do this stretch or do I not want to do this stretch? So you can pick and choose. And so the adventure here would be, okay, do I want to stay here in this stretch? Am I feeling it in the right place? Do I feel it in my glute? Is it working in the right way? If not, then you kind of need to choose your own adventure. And that next step in the adventure would be to either stay in this stretch or to go on to splits in the air. So you can switch sides if you want to. If you want to problem solve this, you can go into your splits in the air. And you should feel this in your inner thighs. So the splits in the air, you're squeezing your legs in, your arms are opening you up. And you just go back and forth, in for strength and down for stretch. We will come back to the stretch later, so don't worry about doing the stretch if you want to stay in your glute stretch. But if you're noticing that you're having an issue, then we have a problem-solving formula to do, and that's where it becomes kind of this like adventure in your body. Now bring your legs in front of you. Take your top hand here, put it on top of your knee, push up for strength, and down for stretch. And then here, I want you to make a decision. What adventure do you want to be on today? Do you want to work on your glute right now? Or do you feel like there's a barrier there? Do you not feel good in this stretch? Or do you feel good? You have a choice. Yes or no, right? Does the stretch work or does it not work? If it works, there's a cat. If it works, then you'll feel the stretch in your glutes. If it doesn't work, then usually what you feel is the other side, or you don't feel anything at all, or you feel just like a single point, like in the joint, it won't feel good. And if that's the case, choose a different path. Pick your adventure. Lay on your back and try the inner thigh stretch. That one would be the next step, okay? So you can choose. Which one do you want to be in? Nice work, guys. Now, if you decided to do the splits in the air, then come back to the stretch and try it again. See if you can get a little bit deeper into the stretch, okay? Whew. That's a burn. It's a good one. All right, now the next stretch we're going to do is for your quads. And I keep forgetting to bring a towel in so you can do the quads at the wall, but I kind of feel like it's a quads at the wall kind of day. So I'm just going to grab this. I have a sweater here that I was wearing yesterday. It's so cold and damp here in Chicago, you guys. We've had rain and storms, but it's supposed to be 72 this weekend, so I can't wait for that. But yeah, it's definitely been like a cozy sweater kind of week. Everything's so pink today. I'm excited to do laundry. It's my pinkness. It's not normal. Okay, so when you go into this quad stretch, what you're going to do is put your pillow or your cozy sweater or a towel or whatever, put it on the floor close to the wall. And then drop your right leg against the wall. You want to make sure that it feels stable on whatever your pillow is, whatever that thing is, and let your foot be flat against the wall. But if that's uncomfortable, you can turn it this way so that your foot's like turned under and your toes are there. You might also want to put something under your foot, especially if you're wearing toenail polish, because that'll get on your wall. My whole studio downtown is covered in nail polish all over the wall. So now come up into a lunge. And if this is hard to do, if you're like, I can't do that, or if you find yourself like trying to get up and you feel really unstable, the secret is just bring your foot away from the wall a little bit. Bring your knee away. And then this changes the angle, and the stretch won't be so intense and you'll be able to come up. So you can vary it that way. You can kind of regulate your stretch. All right. Then here we are in this stretch. Push your foot into the wall. Your other foot is going to push towards your cat, if you have one, or towards the front of your mat. Hi, sorry. And you're going to push forward for strength and back for stretch. And so forward is strength training, and your stretch comes back. You should feel this stretch through the front of your quad here. It's usually not very subtle, right? But also, since we're working on the low lunge today as our main stretch, let yourself go as deep into the front motion of this stretch as you want, because that also stretches out the front here. And then use your front leg to push you out of it. And so you go back and forth. And this kind of stretches two different muscles at the same time. I love it that she joins class now. She's very at home with you guys. She's a good cat. So back and forth, forward for strength, and back for stretch. And then you get that nice stretch through your quad here, right? Now, if we want to take this a step further and add some adventure to this stretch, what does that mean for you, right? What kind of adventures can you get in today in life? Maybe an adventure would be like what kind of thing you're going to cook. Maybe an adventure would just be like going to the grocery store. That's an adventure these days, right? You pick what you want to do, right? And especially if you're under lockdown, if you're at home, you have a lot of options. Sometimes people feel pretty trapped in their space. They don't feel like they can explore, they can grow, but you can grow in a lot of ways. You don't have to just have adventures that are external adventures. But maybe an adventure would be diving down a rabbit hole of YouTube videos about the fall of ancient Rome, right? Who knows? Maybe you end up on some discovery that you've never researched before, right? Some different thing in that way. Maybe an adventure would be an internal adventure. Today I actually posted a video about guided journaling. And that guided journaling is how to make your affirmations true. Especially if you are saying affirmations to yourself, and affirmations are positive statements to try to wash out the old. I always think of it as if you want to get the soap out of a shampoo bottle, you just keep putting water in and keep washing the soap out, and eventually all the soap is gone. It's just the clean bottle, but it takes a long time. Affirmations are like that. You keep putting in positivity, and then the negativity eventually just washes out, but it's kind of a balancing act. So this guided journaling exercise is really cool because it goes, you write the affirmation and then you write the negative statement, and you write the affirmation, you write the negative statement, you go back and forth. And it's kind of like an adventure into your psyche. It's really fun. Every time I do it, I find that I start to have like memories of stuff from my past. Like one time I was doing this affirmation, and out of the blue, I went to the grocery store and I bought Pop-Tarts. You guys know me, I think, by now. Like, you know, Pop-Tarts are not my gig. It's like all full of everything I don't believe in. And I bought Pop-Tarts, and it was so funny because it totally threw me back to a time in my life when we used to eat Pop-Tarts all the time. The strawberry ones with the icing and sprinkles. And it like, my subconscious was like, you need to explore this time. There were Pop-Tarts there. And then as I'm eating the Pop-Tarts in life, I was like, oh gosh, I don't remember much about that period of my life at all. I kind of suppressed a lot of things. And then once I started to explore the idea a little bit more, I came to some really amazing revelations that helped me to make really interesting changes in my life. It was like when an adventure in my own mind. How fun is that? All right, Suri, you need to move. Yeah, you're in the wrong. Oh, she's so mad at me now. You're in the wrong place. Yeah, don't fight me. Bring your feet together like a butterfly, and then put your elbows on your knees. And now we're going to work on your inner thighs. Now, if this aggravates your sciatica, Crystal, do this on the wall. Lay on your back, okay? So you'll push up with your knees, fight with your arms. So your arms are trying to push you open. And then use your arms to push you down towards the floor. It's a little bit of a sweep out too, so you're kind of moving in this direction. Up for strength and down for stretch. You should feel this in your inner thighs right here in the groin area, right? And then you can kind of choose your own adventure here. Like, does this feel good? If it doesn't, choose a different space. Maybe have your feet a little further out. Maybe have your feet a little closer in. Or you could choose a different way to do it, like on your back. And bring your feet up. You can squeeze in for strength and open up for your stretch. I'm just against the wall, but here my back feels really stable. So you have that option as well. And if this one's really not working at all, and you guys know your stretches, you could try lateral hamstring stretch, which is the one where you cross over. Crystal, was that hamstring cramp in the quad stretch? Because that could be your sciatic nemesis. Yeah, we can problem solve through that. For sure. Okay, so if this one, the groin stretch isn't feeling good, then you would go into lateral hamstring here. Cross your right arm over your left leg. Grab your left leg with your hand on the outside of your foot and kick down and pull up. So you kick down for strength and you pull up for stretch. See if you can find the burn in the stretch. See if you can really feel the muscle. Down for strength and up for stretch. I think this is the one you need, for sure. Make sure that you're kicking down for strength and pulling up towards your head for your stretch. And you just go back and forth. Down for strength, up for stretch. And then we'll switch sides. So bring your right leg up. Take your left arm over top and grab the outside of your right foot. Turn your leg internal, so you're going to turn your knee towards your elbow. Kick down for strength and pull up for your stretch. You want a nice diagonal stretch across your body, but the emphasis of the resistance is down and up. So you're kicking down with your heel and you're pulling up with your arm. But because you're on a diagonal with you're on a internal rotation with your leg, you'll feel this in a diagonal, or you'll see it in a diagonal pattern. But think up and down. That means pull up, don't pull to the left. So not actually like coming over this way. It's just down and up. Down for strength and up for stretch. Good, good, good. And then after we've done a few of those, let's go back to our groin stretch. You can put your elbows on your knees and come up for strength and then down for stretch. You'll find this stretch in your inner thighs right here. Up and down. Up for strength and down for stretch. Yeah, good, Crystal. We'll get there. We'll get there. Problem solving is really fun. So now that, we notice that Crystal's the only one chiming in the chat, so she gets all the attention. If you guys want to chime in, if you have anything to say, feel free. But we're going to problem solve her quads real quick. Because when she went into the quad stretch on the wall, her hamstring cramped up and she had to come out of it. That's normal. That happens a lot. You might notice even a cramp in your foot. That would do it too. Okay? So basically what happens is that when you go into a stretch and it's not working, or something in your body says and a cramp is a pretty clear, you end up having a response where your body has to get out of it and you have to stretch. Like a hamstring cramp would be something that you have to stretch out. You don't have a choice there, right? So your body gives you these cues that's knock it off. Your body says no, right? And you can choose to listen to that. And then you go through this pathway. It's like a meandering pathway of problem solving. I have a lot of problem solving videos on the page. There's a whole playlist of them. So feel free to run through these. Also, in those videos about stretching for the inflexible, it's separated into 4 videos because within each video, it says if this stretch isn't working, then do this video instead. And the little bar comes across the top and it tells you what to do. You click that and you go to another video and you do that video. And then if that's not working, you click something else, you go into another video. You just kind of meander your way through. If this isn't working, then do this instead. Okay? So lay on your back, bring your right leg up and grab your heel with your right hand. And then kick down for strength. You're going to let your knee open up to the side a little bit. And pull up for your stretch. And you should feel this one on the inner hamstring here. So you kick down for strength and you pull up for stretch. Find that stretch in your inner hamstring. And just go back and forth. Think about how this stretch can be really healing for your body and how doing this stretch may just heal the issue in your quad. Isn't that amazing? It seems very disconnected, but the body is actually incredibly complicated. It's so connected. You guys, I've been watching this, I subscribe to this channel on YouTube called MedCram. Oh my gosh, it's amazing. Medical cram, you're cramming for a test, MedCram. And there's this doctor who comes on every day and talks about the COVID virus. And it is so fascinating. And yesterday he went into this whole thing on microbiology, and it was fascinating. So if you guys are nerds and you want to learn about it, go for it. The body is incredible, what it does, how it heals, how it deals with problems. It's such an amazing system, what's happening inside of our bodies. It's so incredibly powerful. And it's amazing to me that we think that consciously we can figure stuff out, but your body is a gazillion times more efficient and smarter than anything we can figure out by reason alone. It's fascinating. Down for strength and up for stretch. Find this the healing power of your own body. So amazing. And then we're going to go back to our quad stretch on the wall. Now, if you don't like the quad stretch on the wall, there's some other options you can do too. So if you know this quad stretch, go ahead and do it on the wall. If you need another variation, grab your right leg behind and cross your left leg on top, and you can pump up and down like this. But if you want to problem solve, you want to try that one on the wall again and see if it works, because we've just done a whole adventure of fixing the problem, right? It's kind of like if it's a video game, you started the video game with that quad stretch, and then somebody was like, oh no, save the princess. And then you go and you do all the tasks that you need, and then you go back and save the princess. Sorry, you gotta move. Sorry, Baba, I'm so sorry. And the princess is your quad, right? So come up into this lunge, your knee against the floor here. I've got my knee on my sweater on a little bit of padding, and then you're going to push your foot into the wall to come forward as far as you want to go, and then use your front leg to push you back into that stretch. That feeling of cramp should be gone now, hopefully. And my guess would be that any sciatica pain that you were having will also start to alleviate itself at this point. That's the hope, right? Sometimes sciatica, because it's inflammation, it takes a little bit longer to heal. But once you get everything lined up, and my guess is that that one hamstring that wasn't quite working properly, it wasn't folding enough for you to get into this stretch, was kind of the culprit. So once you get everything realigned, then the inflammation can stop, and then it's okay. All right, let's switch legs. All right, so now I have my left leg against the wall, my right leg's in the front. Oh, I want it better. There we go. All right, push your foot into the wall, and then drive forward by pushing that foot into the wall. Go as deep as you want into the stretch on this side, and then push back to get your stretch. And you just go back and forth, forward for strength, and back for stretch. And see if you can find that stretch in the front of your hip here, in the front of your quad. Should be a really nice stretch. Should feel better. For most of you, it should feel different, even if the stretch was fine before. Right? Oh, there she goes. Okay. All right, sorry. Let's work on something different. Yeah. Okay. Ooh, got her tail. Have a seat in a way that feels really comfortable to you. It really doesn't matter how you sit for this one, okay? Bring your hands together and pull them on top of your head so that your thumbs are just hovering right over the crown of your head. And then you're going to squeeze with your elbows to come in for your stretch. You should feel the back of your shoulders. And then open back up. Squeeze in. This is your stretch. And as you open, your shoulder blades come together. You should feel this a little in the back of your shoulders. Could be like your rotator cuff. You don't have to close all the way, all right? And you open for strength, and you close for stretch. Now, this card for this segment of stretches is all about the creator. That's that king of fire, the king of wands, the thing. The idea behind this guy is that his fire is within, right? We're talking a lot this week in Life Renovations about your solar plexus and letting that energy shine from you. But so often we get in our own way and we kind of like let that light die down. Instead of it being big and expansive, it closes down. It can be like a piece of coal in your belly, right? So as you do this stretch, let your belly be really open and close into the stretch and think about removing any limitations that are keeping you from being the best person that you can be. So just release any tension that's holding you back. Let your belly feel really open. Notice that there's like a fire, there's energy in there. You guys don't probably even know this, but the word Ki-Hara actually is Ki is like your energy, and your Hara is where you hold that energy. And it's right like here, kind of in your sacral chakra. But we're talking more about like your solar plexus today, but it's kind of that same idea of like holding all of your energy in one place, and instead of contracting all of that energy down, letting all of that energy open up so that your real light can shine through. And that's pretty amazing. That's what we want. We'll let that light shine this week. It's the whole point of Life Renovations for this week. All right, we already did our lateral hamstring stretch, so we'll leave that one, but I do want to revisit our inner thighs. Let's do this in a little bit of a different way. Sorry, baby girl. Okay, I'll do it this way first. She's in charge here, I swear. Bring your left leg out to the side, let your feet point forward. You'll kneel on your right leg, and then bring your hands over your head, grab your wrist with both, like hold on to both hands here. So I'm just, with my left hand, I'm grabbing my wrist, but you could do either one. It usually is like whether you're right-handed or left-handed. So like I'm right-handed, this is my actual right hand, but we're mirroring, so I'm grabbing my wrist with that hand. So pull towards your bent leg, Try to resist your arms. So you're trying to pull your arms apart and then pull with your left arm towards your left leg and lean over your body. And as you do that, feel that fire here. Feel it get brighter. Feel that solar plexus like a sunshine in your body. And as you come into the stretch, expand that energy. Maybe with a breath, you can take a breath, fill up your lungs, and then breathe out and come back in. And as you go into the stretch, see if you can find a little bit of growth there. It's hard because you're bent over, everything's tight against your ribs, right? So as you take a breath at the end of that stretch, it might be kind of intense. It's a good one, right? Think about letting that light shine. Sometimes, like I said, we just kind of get in our own way. And this one is in our emotional stretches. So our emotions can get in our way. Emotions like fear or anger or grief, right? Those kind of feelings can get in your way. So in this present moment, as you're being in here with your body, like you are present in your body, you're here right now, you can decide to let go of whatever emotion that is, just for right now. Maybe even for a second, you go into the stretch and you think about letting go of that anger or letting go of that fear just for right now. And then you can have it back. And then as you go into the stretch, just let that go. Let go of the grief that you've been holding on to. And then you can have it back, right? Just for a split second, just for the present moment, just for right now. You don't have it. Okay? You start to feel what it's like not to have that thing that's always there, that thing that's blocking you, or that you're in the way, sorry. That cat that's blocking you. Maybe that's all it is. Just kick her. Ouch! Okay. Get out of the way. I know, I'm sorry, I need the smacked. Okay, sorry, Baba. She's so mad. Okay, and now you're gonna resist with your arms. Don't do that. And towards your knee, and then pull across towards your right leg this time. Oh, sorry. So pulling across for your stretch and open for strength. And you just go back and forth. So see if you can find the stretch in the best way. She's all right now. And see if you come into the stretch, if you can let go of that emotion that you've been holding on to. What is it, right? What is that feeling that maybe it's fear. A lot of us right now are scared. A lot of us are going to come out of this with post-traumatic stress. This is true. Out of this quarantine, this is scary for a lot of people. And so for a second, you can decide to take that emotion and just let it go. And then if you want, you can have it back when you come into the strength portion. But when you go into the stretch, when you don't have that thing that's holding you back, then again, you know what I'm saying? Your real self, your unique self can shine through. It's important. And so great. Feels good, right? Okay, let's go into our low lunge again and see how this feels. So, our normal hip flexor stretch that we do, that I think a lot of you know, is you try to kick your heel back this way and you try to pull your knee forward. And then what you do is you pull with your front leg, but you keep your weight on your back leg and go into the stretch. And the stretch is psoas major, especially if you tuck your tailbone under when you go into the stretch. So as you pull forward, tuck your tailbone. You won't go very far when you feel the stretch here in the front. You just go back and forth. But there's another psoas muscle. It's called psoas minor. And if you put your weight on your front leg and come forward, and let your pelvis kind of tilt a little bit so that it's more of an anterior tilt. You don't tuck your tailbone under, you go the other direction. You're going to feel this stretch in a different way, in a different place. And then you pull back for strength, and you pull forward as far as you want into the stretch, but keep your legs kind of scissoring in to go deeper into the stretch. Now if you feel this pinching on your other side, on the right side, the side that's bending here, then switch sides. See if you can stretch that one out, because it just might need a little love. Scissor both legs in. Go into this deep lunge. And then pull back. And this is another one where you can really feel the opening of your solar plexus, letting your light shine, letting your belly be open and expansive in the stretch. The psoas curls us up, puts us into a fetal position. It's the equivalent of like the sun turning into a black hole, right? It's like, oh, right? So the psoas does that to us when we're scared. It pulls us into a fetal position. So this stretch pulls you out of the fetal position and lets that energy radiate out. You just go back and forth. Back for strength. And forward for stretch, as deep into the stretch as you want to go. And just go back and forth. Okay? Now, in this low lunge, the final form would be to bring your hands into a prayer pose over your head, deep into the stretch. And that usually will intensify it a little bit. You always want to feel like you can get out of this lunge. So if you have to use your hands to get back up, you've gone too far. You should always feel like you're in control of this up and down motion. If you feel wobbly, it also means you've just gone too far, okay? All right. Let's move on into some really good healing energy now. So sit up in a way that feels good to you. Bring your right arm up and grab your elbow with your other hand. You're going to push open for strength and pull across for your stretch. And as you go back and forth into this stretch, really think about the stretches feel kind of like a pump, right? It's almost like, those pumps at the park where you pull up the water and then you push out the water and you pull up the water and you push out the water. So think about, like, as you're going into the strength motion, it's like you're sucking up the water, right? You suck up the water, you're pulling up all that water out of the ground. And then as you pull across, it's like you're pushing out the water. You feel that, the release of the muscle. There's still tension there, right? It's when you have those pumps, like, it's not easy to push it down. You have to kind of get weight behind it. You have to push it down to get the water out. So you just push open for strength and you pull across for your stretch. And just think of it as like one of those pumps. So you suck up all the healing energy and then you push out all the bad stuff. Right? Suck up all that good energy, all that healing force, and then let it go. Back and forth. You should feel this in the back of your shoulder, back through here. Should be kind of starting to burn a little bit, right? If that feels good, you can stick with it. If not, you can skip the stretch, it's okay. Switch to the other side, see how that feels. Let's try the other side. So bring your left arm up, grab your elbow with the other hand, and that same feeling of like pumping the water in the water park. It's not a water park, you know what I mean. Like a park. It's totally like, I'm from Ohio, but I think those pumps are pretty standard though. They're like at nature preserves. So you push open for strength. It's like you're pulling all the water into your muscle, you're collecting it all, and then as you push the pump the other direction, it lets all that tension out. And you just go back and forth, open for strength and close for your stretch. Open for strength and close for stretch. Think about sucking in all that healing energy, letting out all the junk that's been in there for a long time. You just let it go. Open for strength and close for stretch. You should feel this in the back of your left shoulder. Should be kind of burning by now. Should feel pretty good. So nice. All right. Oh, my shoulders are sleepy now. Sleep. My shoulders are like, I need a healing nap. I'll take a healing nap now. Thanks. Carrie? Nope, not today. Lots to do. All right, bring your hands behind you so that your fingers are pointing towards your feet. And you're just going to sit back. And then what you're going to do is curl your shoulders in. So you just curl up into a ball. Think about curling into that like right into your solar plexus again. Crush it all down. And then push through your hands and open up. Lift your chest up towards the ceiling. Let your head come back if that feels good. And find this tension in the strength portion. And then push it out and let all that healing energy run right through your body. You might feel it from your neck, through your sternum, through your arms, all the way down into your fingertips. And you just go back and forth. I'll show you this from the side too so you can see it, because you don't know that stretch. You curl your arms in, and then you push up and open for your stretch. You can bring your head back if it feels good, and you should feel like you can support your head the whole time. So if you do drop your head back, you should always feel like it's easy to bring it right back up. You always feel in control. Okay? So curl in, crush it all in, and then open up and unleash all of that greatness that is you. Let all that healing energy run through your body. Remove all the barriers that are blocking you from the great adventures you're going to have today or through the rest of life. Because, there could be a lot to happen today. Could be a lot to happen for you for the rest of your life, right? We are definitely in a big transition stage right now. I know that for sure. So, only adventures from here on out. That's what I say. All right, there's always one I forget, because the last thing on the list, let's do it this way. Bring your right leg open to the side, and your left leg will tuck in. I did that backwards. Right leg out, left leg tucked in. Bring your left arm to your head here, and what you're going to do is pull across towards your other leg. So you're going to reach with this elbow over towards your foot. At the same time, grab your knee with your left hand and pull. So your resistance is going to be here. And you pull yourself into this side twist. When it starts to feel like it might just be too much, then you bring yourself right back up. So there's a good pull here from your right hand on your knee. If you're having trouble with this, you can just bring your hand over your head like this, so your elbow over your head, and grab your elbow and pull over towards your straight leg. That one's okay, and it takes out the extreme twist. Okay. So your hand over your head. If you want the twist, make sure that you're resisting with your with your right hand against your knee. It's your left knee and your right hand. And it pulls you into the twist, and feel this healing energy in this motion. Letting out the tension as you get to the bottom, exploring how you can heal yourself a little bit more by coming into this stretch in maybe a different angle or a different pattern. Just find the healing nature of this stretch. And you just go back and forth. Whew. I love that stretch. Okay, so now to the other side. So now your left leg out to the side, your right leg will tuck in. If you want to start with the easier version, take your hand and put it behind your head. This is the right hand. Grab your elbow here, and you're going to resist like you're trying to pull both arms apart. And as you stretch, you'll pull towards your left foot and then back up. And if you want a deeper stretch here, move your hand to your head, grab your knee with your left hand. It's your right knee with your left hand. Pull with your hand against your knee, and then lean over into this stretch. And see if you can find the healing energy in this stretch. Only go as far as your body likes. If you don't like this stretch, then just go a little bit, skip it. You could go back to the version with your hand behind and no twist. And that would be okay. You could take a deep breath into the stretch too to stretch out your intercostals. So as you come into the stretch here, blow out all your air, and then a nice inhale. And breathe right into any tension that you have in your ribs. Like I've been feeling a lot right here. So as I go into the stretch, I'm really trying to pull into this part of my rib. Let's see if I can get a deeper stretch through there. You just go back and forth. Blow all your air out first, and then a good inhale. Oh, that's a good one. So good. All right, friends. Oh, okay. Very good. You can do a little pandiculation if it feels good to you. That means that you just kind of stretch in the way that your body wants to stretch. Do what feels good. You feel like, when you wake up in the morning or like when you get up from standing for a long time, your body just kind of wants to move in the way it wants to move. So let yourself do that. And then we're going to try our low lunge one more time. See if we can find a little bit of a deeper stretch in this one. So bring your right leg in the front, your left leg behind. Go ahead into this deep lunge. Your hands over your head. And just assimilate everything we've worked on today as you come up and down. So up for strength, down for stretch. We talked about adventures, the adventure in your own body, in your psyche, the adventure in your mind. You might want to check out that journaling video today. It's only like 7 minutes long. It's really cool. It's my favorite way to do affirmations. We talked about letting your light shine to be the creator of your own existence. And we talked about healing energy. So put that into your muscles. Solidify that in your body. Enjoy these stretches. Let's try the other side. So bring your left leg to the front. A low lunge means your legs are going to be pretty far apart. Come on into this stretch. Notice how this feels different than the first time you tried it. Go as deep into the stretch as you want. Think about opening up your solar plexus, letting your light shine. Feeling really open through the front of your body. Finding your healing energy. Think about the adventures you're going to take today. And what those adventures mean to you, right? Beautiful, beautiful thing. All right, my friends. That's it for today. But before I go, I just want to ask you guys a quick favor. I am trying to get this channel off the ground and I need some help. So there are a couple ways that you can contribute. And really the very first way, like the best way you can contribute is to subscribe to the channel. There's a little arrow in the corner that looks like a play button. Click that button and that's going to help you get all my content very easily. But it'll also help me because the more subscribers I have, the more YouTube unlocks its potential for me. Now, donating money is very helpful right now because my studio is closed at this point and, trying to get by. So if you have the ability to donate, then please do. If you can't, that's quite all right, okay? Share this content with others if you know anybody who needs this work. Give me a thumbs up if you like class today and put a comment in the field if you notice some changes. All right, my friends? Very good. I have class tomorrow at 11 and Saturday at 9. Don't forget to check out Life Renovations and I will see you guys as soon as possible. Bye-bye.